you ever discovered a detail at a theme park and thought, there's gotta be a story behind that? Well, you've come to the right place. We're Amanda, Kevin, and Kim, the team behind We're in the Park, and we've spent years exploring theme parks and creating seek and find games that uncover the details that most people miss. And now we're diving into the history, stories, and secrets behind those magical details. So grab your curiosity and maybe even a churro, and let's explore the parks together, one detail at a time. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the We're in the Park podcast. We have the whole crew here again. We have my mom, Kim. Hi, Kim.
Hello.
And my husband, Kevin.
Hey, everybody.
And today is not a Park Press episode, but all of us are here because we had quite the weekend at various theme parks celebrating America's 250th anniversary birthday celebration. And as we know, parks like to go all out for festive holidays, including 4th of July. So we had quite the weekend. Friday was at Universal Studios Hollywood, Saturday at Knott's Berry Farm, and Sunday at the Disneyland Resort. So we're going to break down what we did, what we experienced, some takeaways. Maybe, those who are in the theme park industry listening, we have some thoughts of how to improve for next year. And yeah, some foods that we tried, all of the things. So let's dive into it. So Friday was Universal Studios. What did we do first over at Universal Studios?
Well, we didn't go first thing because we knew it was going to be a long evening. So that was a good plan, I think, on our parts. We got decent parking, that we weren't battling crowds to get in. I really liked the new security. That was a nice change. There was no lines. I mean, to just go right on through. Kind of was perplexed by how we had to put our bags in all in one. Like we were saving time. Not really. But other than that, I really like how it's set up. It looks like it's going to run real smooth if they have massive crowds.
Well, for anyone listening who has no idea what we're talking about, over at Universal Studios in Hollywood, they just redid all the security so that way you have to go through security before you get into City Walk. Before you would go walking down City Walk after you parked, and then you wouldn't hit security until you got right before the park. So that's how they've changed it. So we parked over at the Jurassic parking. Yeah, because like normally you would just come right out into City Walk, but they've walled that all off, so you can't do that anymore. So they have signs pointing you the whole way, thankfully, the correct direction to go. And then when you get to an area with a big switchback, and luckily when we got there wasn't a big crowd in that because it was kind of getting warmer and it was in the sun. So we were able to just walk right up to the security where they still have the X-ray machines just like they used to have over in front of the park, which they still have that as well if you're coming from the Frankenstein lot or coming from the hotels. You'll still go through the old security into the City Walk and theme park area. But yeah, but what she's saying is frustrating is that if you're as a group, for some reason they make you put every bag you have as a group into one tray, even when there's no one behind you. Because we had two bigger backpacks with us, and some other things in our pockets. And we tried to put the big backpacks one per tray, and they stopped us, made us stack them, and then got confused in what was in there. Where it's like, it would have been fine if you would have just gone through one at a time. But again, that's just our note on this. They might change that as time goes on. I don't know.
Yeah, we put everything in the trays like you would at an airport. I don't know if that was just a training thing or what, but hopefully they get that. We are just always thankful that they have X-ray machines because a lot of theme parks don't and have to search bags manually, and that just takes a lot of time. And we're always like, man, why can't we have the X-ray machines like Universal has? Universal has it down. There's just
the minor gripe.
Just a minor gripe, and that's what we do here.
The minor gripe show for
minor gripe show. But I mean, no, it's one of those things that, like, if you are designing a space, whether that be a theme park, whether that be a restaurant, whether that be whatever, you need to have the whole guest experience in mind, and that's your first. One of the very first things that the guests are interacting with, and so when you're already met with confusion and some disarray, that doesn't really bode well for your guest experience. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, again, minor
Yeah,
gripe. It's all good.
again, this is not a Fourth of July change. This is a permanent
Oh,
change.
Right.
So, as far as Fourth of July stuff, we got into the park and we were lucky, I think, because I don't think everyone had the same experience that we did. Right when we walked through the park, the Fife and Drum from Los Angeles were playing right there, right when you walk in, right by the fountain. And it was a
wow.
pretty cool experience. I didn't expect that to happen. Like I know before we got there, we kept checking the app and the website for like when are we going to be able to see this new fife and drum, like whatever that is that's going to be happening. We weren't sure if it was a show or a march or what was going to go on with that, and we couldn't find anything because nothing was listed as far as like when or where it was going to be in the park. So we just walked right through the turnstiles, and immediately you have the piccolo playing and the drums going, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. I liked it. I just felt so bad for them because it was getting hot and they're in full costume where it's heavy coats and the full long sleeves and I just was just standing there sweating myself and just thinking, "Oh my goodness." And they were so deadpan serious and in character, not a cracked smile. They were just extremely serious and they played the part really well.
Yeah, and they were playing throughout the park, throughout the day too, because we saw them a number of times walking from the front of the park, walking through by where Fast and Furious is almost opened, all the way through to the studio tour entrance. So they were playing all day, and yeah, I felt for them too. I was like, man, I'm glad you guys have some water on you. I saw that, but that you still got to be roasting. So kudos to them for having playing fantastically, but also, having that energy. And it really set the mood, especially when we saw it right when we very, very first walk in, right through the turnstile. And that was a really, really cool experience to kick off our day.
I didn't count heads. I think there was like 10 or 12 people. I know there
Um,
were a variety of drums, maybe like two or three piccolos, and then he had at least two holding flags, I think.
Yeah, I have a picture right here actually.
Okay.
So there's the two piccolo players. There's four snare drum. I'm not well versed with drum types, but there's like four snare drums, and then there's a bass drum, two holding flags, and then there is one that was marching kind of back and forth, and then I don't know what scepter he had in his hand, but he was kind of twirling that. So all in all, there's 3, 6, 9, 10 of them. There you go.
Then all right. Yeah, it was
And
a
we
pretty good
post
march.
Yeah, and we posted some video over on our socials. So if you have no idea what we're talking about, go on our social at We're in the Park and check it out because we posted the whole video there. So, but yeah. So then we spent the day roaming around like we do, making sure our images are still in the park, which if you don't know what that means, you need to check out our We're in the Park games because we have self-paced so you can find games that you can play at theme parks. And so you go around the park and check out the theming hidden in plain sight. And that's what we do when we're at the parks is making sure that those details are still there for you to find. And if not, find replacement ones. So that's always what we do when we're at theme parks. And today was no different or this day,
That day.
that particular day.
We made sure there was no holiday decor that was blocking any of those
Yes.
images.
Exactly. So there was some decor out and about, right? There's every park has their bunting and 250s were everywhere. Universal is, I want to say, notorious for having the clapboards, the director, clapboards where it has the date and the event that you're celebrating. And so they had some photo ops for you to take pictures of for the 250. So that was pretty fun. We got pictures there too.
Yeah, there was one that was by where you go to the studio tour, but the band was there when
Yeah.
we were going to go do it. So we missed that opportunity.
Yeah.
They also recycled at least one of the graduation ones where it had like fireworks on it and said like 2026 on it for the graduation, but they made it look more patriotic with some red, white, and blue lighting. So if you've been to the park a lot like we do, like you would have been like, hey, I've seen that before, but they at least gave it a little bit of a tweak is what they kind of recycled with red, white, and blue on it. So
All in all, very cool. They had the photo ops, they had the bunting, but overall they had a lot of their mega movie summer decor out as well. It wasn't an entire 4th of July theme going on at the parks, but we did the studio, of course. We also tried the studio tour. We also tried some of the new Mega Movie Summer food items, and that's always a good time anytime there's new food. So we will go into that just a little bit. We went to, I'm looking at my photos, that's why I'm looking over here to make sure that I have all of our food items. So we went to the Minion Cafe and we had a cupcake. It was very pink. It's called the Howard's Berry Lemonade Cupcake, right? Pink vanilla cupcake filled with lemon, topped with a berry lemonade buttercream and pink lemonade gummy tentacles. Lemon on lemon on lemon. We had to have it for science.
Sure.
For
It had
science.
enough strawberry in it to kind of balance it out. Maybe a little too much, but it was still pretty good.
I could always have more lemon.
Always. Which at first we didn't really taste as much lemon as we thought until we got toward the middle and found the lemon curd that was in there, and then it was a happy day.
Yes.
And I believe Howard is a new character from the new Minions and Monsters movie. He's the tentacle monster guy.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. It does make sense.
In theaters now.
Right. Not
Which we learned a
Yeah,
lot about the Minions movie on the tram tour.
Yes, we did.
So we also tried James Carbonara, which is a pasta and garlic cream sauce with peas and pancetta. We got the peas on the side so we could share as a team. Some of us don't like peas, but it was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
You could tell it was end of day, so
It
it's not
wasn't.
as fresh as you would hope it would be, but it was still good. We ate it all.
Right. We didn't send it back. That's true. So
No.
it can't be that bad.
We ate it.
It was 5:26.
Yeah. So it was not the end of the day, but it was probably the end of that batch. But
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we also had Irene's orange banana float, orange slush puppy, and frozen banana yogurt, topped with whipped cream, orange and yellow sprinkles, and candy eyes.
And Irene is another character from the new movie. She's the one with she's orange with a bunch of eyes.
Right.
So it makes sense. They actually had kind of, I want to say the tentacle character was a blow up kind of character. I'm not sure if the eyes was just molded something or other. I'm not sure what it's made out of. But they had some static photo ops for the movie, part of Mega Movie Summer, out for 4th of July. So
And they had a separate photo op with the Minions in front of the theater announcing that's by the Secret Life Pets. They had a separate one because usually they have them by the Despicable Me ride, but this one they also had some that was on the main street.
And a bunch of people dressed like Minions, not like in costume, but they were dressed in overalls and yellow. So yeah, it was interesting over there, over at the McGruff Theater. I think I don't really know. It's between the Secret Life of Pets shop and the Secret Life of Pets right entrance. So if you walk down that way and look to your left, you'll see a little movie theater there.
So I actually skipped what we had for lunch, you guys.
Yep.
Oh, do we have lunch?
We
that was
did.
so long ago.
It was
What
so
happened?
long ago. That was days ago. We went to Lard Lad Donuts first because we have new cold brews, and anyone who knows us knows that we love a good cold brew. So when we saw that Universal finally have cold brews on the menu, we gotta go. And so that was actually our first stop through the gate after the Fife and Drum, was to get some of these cold brews. So Kevin, you had Disco Stew's Nuclear Brew, of course, because anything with pistachios is your jam.
That's sometimes true. Yeah.
Most things with pistachios are your jam. Yeah. So what'd you think?
Oh, it was delicious. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would definitely get that in. Even the donut on it was really good. I was like, it has a little donut hole. Because if you know Lard Lad, they're known for donuts. It's a donut shop. It's all it's really had for forever. And like Amanda said, they just came out with these cold brews that kind of complement them. So they had a big pistachio donut that I did not get, but I did get the cold brew with a little donut, and it was just the right amount of donut when you're pairing it with actual lunch. So
Yeah. That description is lightly sweetened cold brew topped with a green pistachio cold foam, chopped pistachios, and the donut hole.
I mean, should we point out like the headache that we came across with the mobile ordering?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So if you're at Universal, you can mobile order at a few locations. And I've never tried mobile ordering from Lard Lad before. So I was walking down from like the entrance of the park and like put in the order, thinking like, oh, that'd be cool. As soon as I get like, about halfway there, I'll say I'm nearby and I'll be able to go pick it up. Thinking kind of like, Disneyland status in my head. Like that's kind of how you play the game, right? So I'm walking up to Lard Lad. I'm passing Hogwarts, and it lets me know that my drink is now ready, and which is perfect timing because it's right there, right? But when you walk up to Lard Lad's, it doesn't actually have a mobile order pickup window like it says in the app to go to pick up your drink. So the only choice you really have is to wait in the line, which luckily it wasn't a long line this time. Usually that line is huge. So I waited in the line and then told the one poor guy who was running that entire little kiosk there that I had mobile order, and he just asked for last four digits. Then he started making the drink right then. And apparently these are a little labor intensive, so it kind of took a while for that. So depending on when you go, the time of day, if there's only one person there, it might take a while to get these drinks. And mobile ordering doesn't really save you time other than that you don't have to actually like ring up your credit card when you get to the window, and he was very specific that it was credit card only at that time. I don't know if it is all the time. I do not go to Lard Lad very often. So I don't know if that's a weird thing just because it was the 3rd of July and it was kind of a busy day before we got there. I don't know the whole situation. But yeah, mobile ordering at Lard Lad isn't really the best plan is what I learned from this. I don't know if they'll change it in the future or not. But yeah, so anyway, so describe your drink though.
Yeah. So my drink was the Lumberjack Lad, and that is also lightly sweetened cold brew, topped with a maple cold foam, caramel crisp pearls, and a donut hole. This donut has a little piece of bacon on it. I thought it was delightful. Anything that has the cold foam on top, I always like to stir it in. That way you have the bitterness of the cold brew with the sweetness of the cold foam, and it was quite tasty. I will give it that. I'd probably get it again.
If it's a short line going up to Lard Lad, I think I would get this in the middle of the day, no problem. They have two other flavors too that we didn't try.
Yeah.
There's like the pink donut, and then what's the other one?
Yeah, they have the Spider Pigs Double Mud Cold Brew, and that will have the chocolate cold foam, chocolate sprinkles, and then a donut hole that has some chocolate and sprinkles on it. And then the Donut Coffee is that same cold brew with a pink vanilla cold foam, rainbow sprinkles, and then the donut hole has pink frosting and sprinkles as well.
I think
There
the
you go.
chocolate and pink donuts have been part of like the menu for a long time. Like as far as those huge like Lard Lad donuts. So
Yeah,
those two made sense as far as like those were the flavors that they already had. So now they're in cold brew form.
exactly. And we always see people with those giant donuts too, which is just crazy.
It is
Yeah.
crazy. And I have to say, they did have signs that had arrows pointing that said mobile order pickup. However,
Uh, Not at Lard Lad.
they didn't have one out front.
No, Lard Lad had nothing about mobile order at all. You're thinking of Luigi's, which we also mobile ordered for.
Yes,
So
you
right
did.
across from Lard Lad, you
At the
have the
same time.
Luigi's Pizza and Pasta location. And yeah, so again, we were there for lunch. We thought, hey, we'll get drinks over here, we'll get the food over there. And yeah, it's a very weird setup where if you get to Luigi's, if you've I don't know like if you've been there before, but it's immediately to the left after you enter into the Simpsons Springfield, USA area, right past the ice cream spot. And yeah, so it has a sign saying go straight through the door if you want to order right now, or go to your right to get a mobile order pickup, which takes you all the way down to like the Duff Gardens kind of area where they have the taco truck, right? But then there isn't a follow-up sign on where to go next. So you just figure, okay, I'll go to the back of Luigi's to pick up my mobile order. But there isn't a window over there. There isn't another sign over there. There isn't anything there but one poor guy at a cash register with a line of people who were just in line through the other pathway. So it's just kind of a weird setup where, again, it's a lot like Larlad, where it isn't designed for mobile orders right now. So I don't know if they're still working on that or what's happening. when you actually walk into Luigi's, there is a line inside of the building that had another sign saying, "Go to the switchback to the right if you're going to order right now, or go to the left, or yeah, no, sorry, to the left to mobile or to go to the switchback, or right to go to the mobile order window or mobile order location." But then there isn't a follow up. All you have is a long line of people from there who are doing the other walkway, and like there isn't anything else you're supposed to go to. So it's not very clear what you're supposed to do if you mobile order there. So we ended up just getting that line as well, and just telling them, "Hey, we mobile ordered," so they handed us our food. So it was kind of a weird setup. I don't know how long it's been like
Yeah.
that. We've never eaten at these locations before when all our visits to the park. And yeah, it was kind of a weird intro to them. And I thought mobile ordering would go smoothly, but it did not. So
Yeah, and at Luigi's, where you would go to pick up your mobile order, I guess again it wasn't clear. What Kevin was saying with the regular line merges into that line, so it seems like you're cutting, and there's only the one person over there. So to get their attention of, hey, I have a mobile order, that's not going to happen. There's no screens or anything like how Hollywood and Dine has a section off to the side where you can go and pick up your mobile order, and there's a screen saying, hey, this person's order is ready. There's none of that happening over at Luigi's or at Lard Lads. So it's a very, very confusing situation. And then when you get your food at Luigi's, you then have to go past the cash register. So now it looks like you haven't even paid, right? So it's very confusing for everyone all the way around, and I don't understand it. To add to the confusion, there is also a separate line at the Duff's Brewery area in that courtyard that Kevin mentioned that you had to walk past as well, and that has a mobile order section too. So you have the confusion of, wait, do I mobile order here? Do I mobile order over there? Where are the lines? It doesn't make any sense. And yeah, so gripe number 2, if you will, it is it's just what we do, but it is have clear signage and make sure everyone is knowledgeable in where it is to go, because all in all, I think we asked 4 different people.
yeah, different team members, and nobody knew.
Yeah.
And even those that were inside Luigi's where we got the food, they were even, well, you just come up to us and ask. And it's like, no, there should be a separate section. And I know when I was standing there waiting to get something to drink that I did not mobile order, there was a ton of people off to the side that were waiting to pick up, I'm assuming, their mobile order. And they were all standing there clueless like the rest of us.
Yeah. It definitely can be improved.
Yeah.
I don't know when they first implemented mobile order, but if the only part of mobile order is just that you are paying by your phone, you're not saving any time in line in either of these scenarios, because you have to stand in the regular line in order to get your mobile order done anyway. So I don't really see the point of it.
Yeah, the more frustrating part is that they actually tell you on the app to go to the mobile order pickup window, but it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, 4th of July stuff. So we can go back to
yes.
Yeah.
the topic at hand.
I apologize. But I mean, it's important for everyone to know that this is what's going on. So while we were at Luigi's Pizza, we got a number of the items for the Mega Movie Summer menu. And we had the meat likers, we got the meat haters pizza. We also got the Mama Says Eat Your Veggie pasta. All those were quite tasty. If you'd like to see pictures, we have a foodie guide breaking down all of the Mega Movie Summer and the holiday menu that is starting July 1st. Not sure how long that is going to run, but the foodie guide is available on our socials. So there you go. And then we went to the Fast and Furious dance party. Now,
that was a highlight. That was the highlight of the day.
It
honestly.
really was. It really was. I was quite surprised by it in ways that I never expected.
But not what you would think.
Yeah, it's not why you think. So for those of you who don't know, in the Universal Plaza, like where they have the Grinchmas tree, if you're familiar with the holiday times, at Universal, they currently have a DJ and a little stage area, and then they have some picture cars, of cars from the movie, and that could be a photo op during the day. But then they also have some dancers that come out and dance to different songs. Great, fine. They're talented. I can't do some of these tricks that they're doing. That's fine. However, off to the side, you have Frankenstein's monster and the Bride of Frankenstein, and their expressions are priceless. They are looking on at these dancers, trying to figure out what on earth they are doing, and then trying to learn these dance moves. So by the end of the show, they are joining in on the dancing, and then you have all of these other characters come in and join as well. So we had the Scooby-Doo gang, we had the what is his name from Madagascar, but
I don't know if he has a name, to be honest. It's just
sure.
the ringtail lemur.
Yeah, so he came out and danced, and so it was so much fun. I don't know if all these characters are out with every performance of the dance group's show, but it was quite entertaining to see their reactions to the dancers. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, watching Frankenstein's monster do the Macarena was definitely a highlight of the day. I don't know. It was very bizarre. I don't know if it had a lot to. I mean, again, if you ever seen the Fast and Furious movies, right, you'll know that they're off the rails to begin with. So it wasn't really out of character, I suppose. They haven't shown up in any of those movies yet, but maybe in a sequel. So yeah, no, they were a lot of fun. I was just laughing the whole time because I did not expect for them to stick around because they were there before they had started dancing. They were just kind of like wandering around. Again, I'm talking specifically about Frankenstein's monster and the Bride of Frankenstein. All these Scooby-Doo characters and the Madagascar guy, they came out later after the dancing started. But I didn't expect for them to stick around, and they were just like, I mean, like I said, just like getting into it, and it was hilarious. So I don't know if again, I don't know if the dancers knew that was going to happen. I don't know if it's something that always happens, but it got me by surprise, and I appreciate a good surprise.
Yeah, I don't know if the dancers knew or not because some of them would look over and just be laughing that they were standing there. And the Bride of Frankenstein, she was so in character. It was, you could see her little shoulders move a little bit, and she would just kind of look around like in awe of what they're doing and just perplexed. And she was just so great because then the monster would kind of move and she'd look at him and try and do the same thing. That was the highlight. I mean, I love the fireworks, don't get me wrong, but that was probably the most entertaining of the day.
Yeah, totally agree.
Most surprising, that's for sure. In a good way. Let's be clear.
Yes, absolutely. And then we went on a couple of rides. We met up with some friends. So then we decided to go to the lower lot this year for the fireworks show. In years past, we have been kind of in that same area with the Fast and Furious dancers and in that Central Plaza area. But this year we're like, hey, let's go to the lower lot this time.
Yeah, so we went down to the lower lot for fireworks because this year they made it very clear that it was going to happen in two spots. You could either see the fireworks over at Hogwarts or down by Transformers, which was unlike the previous years, I believe. I don't remember exactly where it was when we went last year. Like Amanda said, we've been over in the I like to think of it, like she said, as like the Christmas tree area during Grinchmas. One year they actually shot the fireworks off from like the Hello Kitty spot for like New Year's Eve. And so I always think of that as like the fireworks spot, but I think that was only that one time. I've never seen them do it again. So we always think in our heads that's where it's going to be. So you never know with Universal. I don't think they've really decided on where fireworks are going to be. I was actually thinking about this. Maybe the reason why the Fast and Furious load building is so big is because that could become the new fireworks spot because that'd be helpful because that way it'd be in the middle of the park. Because I was seeing some shots from Six Flags Magic Mountain where they shoot off their fireworks from the center of that park. So that's like a hill in the middle of that park. So that makes sense with the hill there. So yeah, it's possible that's going to be the new fireworks spot someday. At least that we could fit everybody in there. Because right now it does have kind of a congestion issue with those two areas where it isn't really designed to have a crowd in there to watch a fireworks show for either of those spots, really. Yeah, so if you can put it over on Fast and Furious, you can have everyone over in the Christmas tree area looking out at the fireworks shooting up from there. But if you're down at the lower lot, you can still look up and see them. Actually, from wherever you are in the park, you could probably see them because that building kind of stands out where it is. So yeah, just thought.
Great thought. Because so we were down at the lower lot. We were behind the seating area for like the Panda Express down there, in the studio cafe area. So we were right next to Transformers and right next to the entrance to Super Nintendo World. The fireworks go off right on top of the Transformers building, but the music is played down the stretch of the lower lot, so we can't really hear the music there, and the music for Super Nintendo World doesn't stop. So the entrance is right there, right on the other side of the hedge. So we had a combination of patriotic music and Super Nintendo World, and that was also pretty great.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to complain about it, but then it kept making me smile. Even though it's only like a 15-second loop, it feels like, of Nintendo music that plays over there. Yeah, it's fine. The other issue with that spot, though, if you're thinking about using it next time they have a fireworks show down there, is that they have some spotlights kind of lighting the way of the Nintendo area from the top of the Transformers building that they do not turn off during the fireworks. So you have bright lights kind of facing you, and the music and the lights from Nintendo. I mean, again, the fireworks still look great. Don't misunderstand me, but I think in retrospect, maybe going down to the other area would have been a better show. But again, it got really crowded in there as well. So
Yeah.
it depends on what you're in the mood for. If you want to sit down and just watch fireworks from a interesting angle, bring earplugs. But other than that, it's a good spot.
Yeah, I think I did see some other posts. I think we missed part of the show because the building was right there. So a lot of stuff that may have been a little bit lower and not in our view, we missed out on some of it. I mean, we saw, of course, the ones that were up rather high, but I did see some others that would have probably been better from afar. Yeah, it is a loop of Mario, because I'm a chicken and didn't go on the mummy ride. So I sat there and listened to hold our spot. So by the time the fireworks came, I was happy to have it drowned out a little bit. But it was good. It's good. We had good spots and seats. So we weren't standing and cramped down that little narrow walkway in between the restaurants. So that was a good thing to have those seats.
Especially when we went to leave, because everybody was exiting the park at that time, and they had the two escalators going up and the two escalators going down, and they had team members on every level and security at every level of the escalators to stop the crowds and make sure that it was clear enough for people to go up to the next level. And I really appreciated that. However, we were talking in retrospect that they should have had 3 escalators go up and 1 go down instead of 2 and 2, just to get more people out quicker, because we were just standing there for a good bit. So I just kept thinking there's a security issue here, and that needs to be improved for sure. All in all, though, great show.
Yep.
Yeah. Looking forward to what they do next year.
I think they should do the on top of Fast and Furious. I think that's a great idea, Kevin.
We'll see what happens. Again, this year was definitely an interesting, like, you have the 250th anniversary, the semi-quincentennial. I don't know, I can't say it. And you had it where 4th of July was on a Saturday. So you could have the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, like, at theme parks, which isn't common, let's be clear. So it was kind of a perfect storm of reasons for people to be at a theme park celebrating this holiday, more so than other years. So I don't know if it was as busy last year or if it will be as busy next year. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. That's for all the theme parks that we're going to be talking about today.
Yes.
All right. So then on Saturday, on 4th of July proper, we went to Knott's Berry Farm. First time in a little bit. It's been a couple of years since we've been on the 4th. And so they had some decor that said 250 on it, especially throughout Ghost Town. And of course, we had to say hi to Snoopy and Charlie Brown, and Franklin came out, and they were all dapper in their patriotic outfits. And so that was super cute. Again, felt bad for them because it was blazing hot. But thank you guys for taking pictures with us. You guys rock. Yeah, what do we think about Knott's?
That did just remind me that we totally skipped the stilt walkers over at Universal. So
Oh
there were those guys too.
yeah. Shout out
I
to you
forgot all
guys
about them.
too.
Yeah, they were fantastic, very
Yeah.
friendly, very patriotic. But anyway, for Knott's Berry Farm, yeah, I like the decor that was up. They definitely went all in on like patriotic decor and the 250, like Amanda was saying. Universal had a few 250s, and I feel like Knott's like I looked many places and they had little emblems on them saying 250 kind of all over the park, even over in the boardwalk area. So it was very interesting, their willingness to go all in on this 1 year's event. It was very cool. I liked it. Also we were there on the 4th of July, which meant that everyone around us was also wearing like America like outfit, like shirts and stuff, I guess. So it was a very patriotic crowd compared with the Universal the day before and even Disney the next day. So
And it was a lot more crowded than I'm used to seeing Knott's,
oh
which
yeah.
was good. I was very happy to see that the crowd showed up. Didn't mind the crowds. I knew it was going to be busy with it being the 4th of July. Liked that all the families were there and there were some big groups and all that. The lines for food, though, boy, howdy, were there lines for food.
Oh yeah.
Every restaurant that you could get food from had the long lines, and I think we were there around dinner time, so it made sense. But we ventured off property to go get dinner so that we could have dinner before the fireworks.
Yeah. I mean, there's some places that notoriously have a long line, but this was every eatery had a long line. And so that just speaks to the crowds that were there. And yeah, it was good to see. Honestly, we weren't mad at it because we were like, okay, people are here, they're here to celebrate, and this is going to be a rockin' crowd come firework time. And so we were fine to go off property. It was all good, especially because we were getting pretty hungry at that point. We're like, okay, we need to eat sometime within the next hour, and it's not going to happen here. So then we were roaming around, of course, making sure images were still there and not hidden by holiday decor. And then we were at the boardwalk for fireworks. Now, we have been at the boardwalk for fireworks in the past, and we wanted to make a point to get a better location this time around because there's some buildings in the way. And depending on when you get to the boardwalk area, you might not have a view of the fireworks. So they shoot off the fireworks across the street. So if you are looking at the boardwalk and you see the line of palm trees along kind of the back walls of the property of Knott's Berry Farm, they launch it across the street from that. So that row of palm trees is kind of your guideline of where they're going to be shooting them off from. So we were pretty much front and center on
Yeah.
those trees. And if you want to see a video of the fireworks show, our friends Vince and Julie from Vince the Hat Man have posted our video, and you can check them out. We'll be sure to link it in the show notes and check out their page, Knott's Then and Now, because they linked it there as well. So thank you so much, Vince and Julie. Yeah. What do you guys think of the fireworks show?
I thought the fireworks were really, they did a good job, honestly. We could see them very well from where we were at. It was loud. We forgot earplugs yet again. But I like that they stopped the rides because we were right by, what is that ride that we were backed up against?
Plane thing. I don't know what it's called. If you know where
Well,
Hang
Coast
time.
Rider is.
Hang time.
Oh,
That's
that's
what I
okay.
was
I thought
talking
you were
about.
talking about right in front of us. You're
Oh,
right.
no.
I think
That
Hang
too.
Time was running. It was just so slow to load we couldn't tell.
No, they stopped
Oh,
it during the fireworks because we would have heard screaming
yeah.
All right.
because we were right there. But so I was thankful for that. And they shot off fireworks from other rides because
From
that
Coast
one,
Rider.
yeah, there was fireworks going off of that, which I was surprised that it was on this side of the street compared to the fireworks being shot off across the street. But everyone could see them fine. There wasn't anything blocking it where we were. I know other people, I don't know those that were standing by the old Johnny Rockets, how they saw if they were up against that wall. I don't know what they were looking at.
Yeah. Back to the minor gripe show, right? It's a weird thing with Knott's Berry Farm where they don't give any kind of instructions on the firework viewing areas. They just point out, hey, the fireworks are going to be at 9:35 or whatever time it was, and yeah, enjoy them. They didn't say, hey, it's going to be over here. across the street, for starters, and then you can't see it if you are right in front of the former Johnny Rockets, the soon to be Crafty Pie Thieves restaurant. And yeah, there were people crowded around that area, kind of facing the wrong way as we were like walking through, and we weren't sure like should there be some. I don't know, not cast members or team members, but the Knott's Berry Farm employees. I feel like they should be there, kind of like, oh, hey, everybody, just so you know, the fireworks are best viewed from this area over here. I know in the past we've watched the show from Boot Hill, which I don't know if they were allowing guests this year. We went a few years ago and they were very specific that you were not allowed to stay there for the fireworks. And they had some team players, whatever you want to call them, in that area earlier in the day, kind of like watching the crowd where they usually aren't there. So I don't know if they were ready to tell people, hey, you can't camp out for the fireworks here. But again, we didn't go back there to verify that, so I don't know. But I've also seen the fireworks over by the train station. Over there's a fine spot. Like looking across the way, you can still see all the fireworks up in the sky. You might miss some of those lower ones going off of Coast Rider. And I think over by the former Johnny Rocks, there was another like launch area there because like there were multiple spots. And even further down, I don't know where the other one even was. It had a fun effect if you were in that spot where we were. You saw, like Amanda said, we were front and center for where they designed the show to be seen from.
Yeah, they had three different areas where they were shooting those lower range fireworks. So, like Kevin said, Coast Rider and the former Johnny Rockets, and then there was one further down toward, I don't know if it was off of Coaster's Diner or if it was all the way back by the accelerator, but it was back there. Because I did notice if they did red, white, and blue, one was red, one was white, one was blue. And I had like panned around to get those shots. So very, very cool. But you guys, if you're going to be there, bring your patience. Bring your patience because there are people everywhere. Now, they do have areas on the ground where they've marked off where you're going to be standing. That doesn't happen. Okay. So the line gets further and further out and it's a two-way street. So people are walking in groups in both directions. And so it gets very, very congested to the point where you're standing still and waiting for you kind of just feel like a salmon where you're just kind of trying to go upstream and you're just inching until you get to your location. So we were talking about this and how they can improve this. I don't know if they make it just a one-way area where traffic is flowing just in one direction or what they do here, but it is a hot mess and it's dangerous. It really is.
Yeah. I really think that I don't know their staffing, so I think that could be an issue because we've been to other theme parks and there's not enough people in the middle of that crowd to be directing. You go on the right hand side, you're going this way. On the left hand side, you're going this way. Even if it's just a narrow stream of people, there wasn't that. So you had people that were going upstream against the traffic or going behind us, which was in the planters because they just couldn't wait any longer. Thankfully, when tempers did flare and we did witness that, there was enough common sense to walk away in the opposite directions, even if they had to pivot and turn around. So that was nice because we really only saw one. Some of these little kids, I felt so bad because they're down below, and so they have a little bit of anxiety. We saw one kid that had you could tell he was getting a little anxious. But other than that, I mean, I thought everything went pretty smooth considering that we were in major traffic jam on the boardwalk.
Yeah, we have to keep in mind that Knott's Berry Farm doesn't have a reservation system. So I don't know if they were taken by surprise by just how many people came into the park. I don't know if they actually cap it at any point either. I'm sure they're counting heads, but yeah, I don't know. It definitely felt like they could have handled that a little better. But again, I don't know if they were expecting to have that big of a turnout because it was a very busy day. Like Amanda said, like when you were talking about how restaurants with long lines, always existed at Knott's Berry Farm, these were longer lines for the long line locations.
Yeah.
Like for Casa California, which sometimes has a long, switchback in there, it was out and around almost to the carousel. I mean, it wasn't to the
Yeah.
carousel yet, but it was heading that direction. So if you know the park, that's a walk. So you're gonna be in that line for at least an hour probably.
Yeah. It was to the water refill station right there. I was like, is this the line for Casa California? That's insane. But all of them were like that. The Papas Locos right there, it was going all the way down to the where the missions are. It was just crazy. So yeah, I think that they might have been a little understaffed for the event, but shout out to the team ambassadors there. That
Whatever they're called, right? I don't know.
I feel bad. I don't know what they're called. Employees,
Yeah.
staff that any holiday, any theme park day is a lot. And we understand that, but to have an influx of people that you weren't expecting and for everything to still go as smoothly as it did, all things considered, is pretty commendable. So thank you to everyone who kept the boat afloat, not just on the 4th, but throughout the whole weekend and every day. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, they came through right away cleaning up after the fireworks were over, and I mean, it was good. They were definitely
Good.
at least ready in that respect. So kudos,
Yeah.
like Amanda said, to the team player ambassadors of Knott's Berry Farm, whatever you guys are called.
Yes. And then on Sunday, we went to the Disneyland Resort. And as always, you have a great time at the Disneyland Resort. Again, checked on our images. We had a checklist of things we wanted to accomplish, including seeing the new pirate, right? Checking on him and
Again,
checking out Soarin' across America for the first time.
Yes.
Now, we love Soarin' across, like Soarin' over California. I had to like get
specifically.
I had to get my wording right on that one. Yeah, America is does the American version take top notch over California?
No.
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 All right. Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, I wasn't sure where we stood. We hadn't talked about this, but I would argue better than around the world.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
Okay. See again, but I wasn't sure. So we're all in agreement. That's fantastic. You listening at home, we would love to know, where would you rank the different Soarins? Let us know in our absolutely free Facebook group, We're in the Park Explorers, or on our social media at We're in the Park. But yes, we love Soarin' across California, or Soarin' over California. Oh, this is gonna get a tongue twister real quick.
Too many names.
So many names. We love the California version. One, because we're in California. That's a start.
And it's the original.
And it's the OG.
Yes.
Yeah. And you got the oranges. I mean, what's not to love, really?
I love the intro video, though.
I was
of
gonna
this one.
say,
I
I love
loved
the Patrick
it.
came back shoddy little
I-
segment.
I loved every second of it. I'm not gonna do any spoils. You just gotta be sure you're in there so that you can see it, because it was a good highlight before we sat. And unfortunately, we were in a position that was off to the very far side. So you got the effect that you didn't really want to get on a lot of the things, but it was still really cool.
I believe that's referred to as the Eiffel Tower effect.
Yes.
Okay, that's what they call it. Okay. Or the Taj Mahal effect.
Oh, Taj Mahal, I don't know. What effect are you talking? I'm talking like for me, like the Washington Monument, like had a bend to it. And the Statue of Liberty had a little bit of a weird look to it. As far as like CGI goes, that's what I think of for the Taj Mahal. But that doesn't matter where you're
Oh.
sitting for that. I've been front and center for the Taj Mahal, and that's still
That's
jarring.
true.
So
Yeah. Yeah, but
Yeah.
because I was on the very end, it definitely skews your perspective on it. And around the sides were a little blurry because it's more focused where you're supposed to be more into that screen. But overall, I still liked it. So
well, at the risk of spoiling it for people, for you where you were sitting, because you were like 2 seats down from where I was the rocket at the beginning like looking okay for you, or was that also bending for you?
it
Because I
looked
remember
okay
looking
to
okay,
a certain point.
okay.
And then it kind of did its little.
Because
So
I remember I was impressed from my seat, like three down from the end. Where I'm like, oh hey, they have it where it's the perfect like amount away from the camera that it's not bending from this far over. Whereas like the Eiffel Tower, if you were like 3 seats from the middle, it was already bending
Yeah,
for you.
very true.
So
Very true.
Yeah.
But yeah.
so it takes a while for this one to get really bad. So
Yeah.
all right.
So I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, I got it, and because I was on the farthest seat over. Yeah, everything had a little tilt to it.
Yeah. Yeah, we were in section C, row 1, and we were the first in row 1. So we were at the all the way to the very end of that section. But yeah, I liked that the pre-show didn't tell us where we were going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
no
great.
spoilers there.
Yeah,
was
so there
a
was
good
no
surprise.
spoilers. And so it was kind of cool to go like, okay, I don't know where we're going next. Whereas around the world or over California, it listed them in order of where you were going to go. And you're like, okay, I know that, Lake Tahoe is next, right? So with this, though, one, it was new because we hadn't ridden it before. And two, I don't know where we're going. And I obviously, with people posting online, I didn't want to see it because I wanted to be surprised. And so I thought that was really cool. And you have all new smells in there, and you have a newly revised soundtrack in there. And so I thought that was really cool. So it was like riding, because it is a brand new ride. And so I thought that was awesome. I just can't get over the transitions. We're still there with the transition of like, hey, we're going to go from one location to the next because a seagull flew at you. And I just can't with that. But other than that, it's great.
It was better than the Around the World's like dirt in your face situation. So
Very true.
yeah,
That's very true.
But still, I don't understand why that transition continues to be a thing.
I felt like it wasn't as jarring for this one. Again, just a quick spoiler, maybe. I did really also appreciate in the scene with all of the cows that they went with the scent of grass.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
And thankfully, it didn't stir up my allergies, so that was
Right.
Ditto.
because I was
Ditto.
I was like,
yeah, grass is much better than what could have been.
yeah, I heard the synthesizer or whatever you call it thing going off. Like, oh, what's this gonna smell like? I'm like, oh, grass. All right, that's nice. It's like a freshly mowed lawn. I'll
Yeah.
take that over what I'm looking at. So sure.
We don't need
Very
to have
true.
a certain on some of our trips up north. There are certain areas that we don't. You make sure that we have the recirculating air.
Right. Very true.
Anyway,
But yes, so definitely check out Soarin around America, Soarin over,
Across.
Soarin across.
Across
See what I'm
America.
saying?
over,
Soarin'
around,
over-
and across.
Across.
Over and under and through the woods, America. So check it out next time
Yes.
you're at the park. I don't know for how much longer it's gonna be here though.
I mean, it seemed like it's gonna be here for a while. I know they like kind of touted it as like it's for the 250th, but I expect it to be there for at least a year plus. I mean, I hope that it stays there longer than around the world, whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you just bring back sort of California over here, leave the Across America at Epcot, and then leave the other ones in the like Tokyo and wherever else they have this ride, I'd be all for a different experience in every park. So if I was in charge, that's what I would do.
And the line wasn't bad. I was
Yeah.
expecting it to be a much longer line. I know it was the day after the holiday, but boy, did we walked on rides.
I mean, it was the perfect storm again of it was the day after the 4th of July, so everyone was out the day before, but there was also a big FIFA soccer match with Mexico
True.
that when we were talking to people about like because we talked to the cast members like where is everybody? They're like they're home watching the game. Why are you here? It's like well, we haven't been following FIFA. I'm sorry. We love theme parks, so here we are.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing 3 in 3 days.
That's right.
Exactly.
And yeah, when we got there, we saw a lot of people in Mexico jerseys, and then game time was at 5, and none of them were to be found when it got closer to game time. And so the park was even more empty around 5 o'clock. or those that were in the parks were off in seating areas to watch the game on their phones, so they weren't in line for rides.
Yeah.
So we rode a number of things, or just food stuff. There, the lines for food were minimal because everyone was out doing that. So it was kind of jarring. It took us back to the good old days where the park wasn't at capacity every day.
To be able to get your picture taken up front, usually that's a long line when you're walking in. And we walked in, and I think we were like third
Yeah.
to get our picture done in front of there. So it was definitely a change for us that we're not used to.
Yeah, and I kept checking the app throughout the day. Like, we didn't go on Rise of the Resistance. That's usually kind of the barometer for like how busy is the park today. And we're looking at it before we got there. We're like, it's currently a 10-minute wait for Rise of the Resistance, and it was like at like noon. I'm like, it's never this dead. I'm like, what is happening? Either the app is broken or the park is completely empty. And we got to the park and it was mostly empty. I mean, I think it kind of went up. It fluctuated between 40 and 20 minutes throughout the rest of the day, which is again really short for that ride. So even racers, I think when I looked at it, I was like, it's currently 15 minutes for racers. So yeah, no, it was
Awesome.
bizarre. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was unusual. I don't know again if you ever have that experience again of getting there when a FIFA match happens to be eating the crowd. So yeah,
Yeah,
don't
because we
expect
walked
it.
on the trams. We don't usually
Oh, from
park
Mickey
at
and Friends.
Mickey and
Yeah.
Friends, and didn't have to stand in line for security because there was nobody
walked around.
there, and then walked onto the tram. There was no line for the tram. So that was right from the get-go. We were like, whoa, what are we in
Something's
for?
off today, but
Yeah.
but as
Yeah.
far as like the decor, I guess we could go back to Fourth of
Yes.
July stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I was a little let down by like the lack of 250. Like after being at Knott's the day before, I think especially, like it felt like it was just the usual patriotic bunting. I didn't see anything too special. They had a sign that you could hold up in front of the train station for a photo op, and then in the middle of Main Street they had another sign that actually. Did they both say 250 on them, or did one just say like July 4th? They both said
They both
250.
had
Okay,
250.
they're
They
nodding
both
heads.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was new, but again, that was about it. Like nothing else was really like, hey everybody, we're here celebrating 250 years of America. I'm sure back in 1976, obviously 1776 they weren't celebrating it at the Disneyland Resort, but in 1976 I know they did it really big there. Like it was like everywhere. This is the bicentennial. This year it was just very kind of, I don't know how it was on the 4th of July because again, we didn't go there on the actual day. If it was like more hyped up for that. But again, I don't think they would take down decor for the next day because again, they did the fireworks and they did the pre-show for World of Color on the 5th, and we knew that's why we went there that day, was because we knew that it was on the schedule. But yeah, so it was a little interesting. Even the costume characters, we saw Mickey dressed like in a patriotic outfit when we first got there, but later in the day he had switched over to just regular old Mickey. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And the other characters that we saw, like when we first got there, Patriotic Mickey was out, but like Clarabelle was out in like, I mean, characters were out just in their 70th gear.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, but it's 4th of July weekend. What's happening? So that was that, yeah, it was a little jarring. And I know that we go through the celebratory phase for way too long. The 70th anniversary was 25 months long, but it's like this is a bit. I rounded to the nearest 25 months.
Okay.
It felt like, I'm sure for the cast members it feels like 3 years because they have to
Yeah.
hear the do the parade and all that. But yeah, my point is that this is a big celebration and we're not decking it out, like we know that Disney can. So yeah, it was a little underwhelming, especially going to the other parks and seeing they had the Universal, we didn't even mention on the way out, had the projection of 250 and all that on the arches when you exit, and we didn't really have that at Disney. So we did, though, go to the World of Color pre-show. So we split up, and Kevin and I went to the World of Color pre-show while my mom, Kim, just held her ground and staked out a spot for fireworks and saw Paint the Night while we were waiting for that spot. But we saw the World of Color pre-show. That was pretty cool. Had the fireworks and the projection on the water screens of the Statue of Liberty, Mount Rushmore, and all that. And that was awesome. Kevin, what were your thoughts on that show?
I think it was the same show they had in years past.
Yeah.
Back before COVID, they would do this, I think, pretty routinely. We went a few years ago expecting to see it. I think it was actually on the 4th of July in like 2022 or 2023. I'm not sure which year it was, but they didn't do it. And like we didn't look up to see if they were going to do it. We just kind of assumed because of how it was in the before times. So it was good to see it again, but it was kind of interesting. I think the voiceover, whoever is doing the voices now for Disneyland California Adventure, they mentioned celebrating 250 years of, whatever, of the United States of America. But there wasn't anything really other than that to point out how special it is. They didn't add anything to the show to be like, hey, 250, or there wasn't anything kind of projected on anything kind of to make it seem like it was a unique show. Again, really good show, really well done. I love the music. I love that they go all in on kind of the Americana music for their shows, whereas the other two parts kind of went more pop on it, kind of like more current songs that happen to say America. They'll throw that into their firework mixes. I think Disney kind of goes all in on. I don't even know whose nostalgia it is at this point, like who's still around, like rocking out to the 1930s and 20s music of America, but it was good. I mean, it was still nice to see. I like the fireworks, ground level fireworks for World of Color are a lot of fun. I was able to see what was it, Luminaria back when that played that one year, where they had a lot of the ground level fireworks. So it's a rare event you get to see. Also for New Year's Eve, obviously they do those as well. And we were lucky enough that we didn't get any smoke to the face. So yeah, I'll take it.
We did see a parade that was earlier in the
Oh,
day.
that's true. A little
that's right.
cavalcade.
We had the celebratory what is it? I can't remember. It was like
of all nations,
dear.
mostly America.
Mostly America.
celebratory
It was only
cavalcade
America.
honoring America.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Celebratory cavalcade honoring America parade, which had all the cast of characters, and they were in their little outfits and stuff. So, but it's a short parade, it just so that you can see all the main characters. But that was fun. We were able to catch it right at the hub in front of the partner statue, so it was cool to kind of have it like coming straight towards us. So Amanda posted a video on that as well.
Very true. Forgot about that. But see, that's what I'm saying. The characters are already in their outfits.
Yeah.
So you can have them be walk around characters and take pictures.
I also I mean, they did have a big banner for that one, I think saying 250 on it. So
Yes.
so you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I'll take back half of my gripe on that one.
So good call, because I forgot about that. So much happened over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So after World of Color pre-show, it was World of Color Happiness, and we've seen that a number of times. And so Kevin
It's a
and
great
I,
show.
it's a
Don't
great show.
misunderstand.
It's a
Yeah.
fantastic show. Definitely see it. Definitely check it out. Don't
jump in the
misunderstand
bay,
us.
anyone.
Don't jump in the bay.
Don't jump in the bay. You'll
You
understand
know.
it when you see it. Do it.
You know. But yes, so we left right after the pre-show, as did a lot of other people, whether they knew it or not, because several people that we overheard were like, "Oh, I waited for just that little bit. Okay,
That
I
little
guess
show.
I guess we're leaving now," not realizing that there was a whole nother World of Color show. And we've talked about this before in other formats, but we don't understand why there is a break in the action between pre-show and the main show.
At least without an explanation of like, hey, guests, hang out here for another 5 minutes before the World of Color starts. It's just
Right.
the lights come on, like the show is over, and they don't tell you anything until the show starts again. So it is a weird thing that they do.
Yeah.
They do it for New Year's Eve. They do it for 4th of July, and I don't know why.
I don't know. It's very confusing to a lot of people. We were walking out with a group, and they had mentioned like, "Oh, I didn't realize that was it." And a cast member said, "Well, no, there's still a 25-minute show after this." And they're like, "Oh, well, we're already out here." They were already out in the corridor of the performance corridor right in front of Ariel's. And they're like, "Well, how do we get back in?" and so who knows where, if they ended up being in the same spot, or what they ended up doing. But it just goes to the point of it needs to be communicated that there is a second show that is right after this one, or just go right into it. They've done that before in the past too, where there's no break, the lights are still off, and it just goes in from pre-show to the show. So figure out that technology, or make that announcement saying, hey, in 5 minutes we're switching over to the other show. But anyway, we raced over, and if anyone has ever done that walk from World of Color, going across the Esplanade, going to Disneyland, only to find Paint the Night is still going on, and trying to get to your group for the fireworks, the shin splints that you get when you do that semi-run / walk, right? We don't run in the park. But yeah, so we get there and we see Mac from Cars, and the aerial float is coming up next, so we know we're really close to a break in the action. So with those breaks, they open the lines and we are able to cross the street. So we did that, and luckily, pro tip, I think, is we had a mobile order at the refreshment corner, okay, for hot chocolates. By the time we got there, hot chocolates were not needed because we were sweating from running, from speed walking, right?
Yes, speed walking.
But anyway, we had a mobile order, and I had pressed that we were there about the time we were at first aid, right? So we went all the way back behind the walkways that they open up when there's a parade or an event going on, so that people can easily walk in and out. We got about to first aid. I pushed "We are here," and the screen immediately turns purple because we just got drinks. So cast members are doing their job. Praise them. They say, hey, keep going this way. It's one way, all of the things. And we showed, okay, but we need to get across the street to refreshment corner. And I showed them the purple screen for the mobile order, and they helped us out. Otherwise, we would still be in Frontierland because we would have to go all the way around the hub and go the long way. But they said, okay, there's an opening coming up right here. Just go right here where the planter is, and we'll be able to go through. So all that to say, thank you, cast members, for knowing where we were going and allowing us to not have to go all the way around.
Yeah. And at the risk of giving everyone whiplash here, I do want to give a shout out to the cast members over at the World of Color area.
Oh, yes.
Because we told them that our plan was to watch the pre-show and then to exit right afterward. And they told us where to stand, where they were going to be able to open up the rope area to let us out into the walkway. So that way we wouldn't be getting in front of anybody, or making making awkward kind of shimmying around anybody. So yeah, thank you to them for making it real easy for us.
Yes.
Thank you for the mobile order app.
Oh, yeah,
That
and
makes it
having a mobile
possible,
order window.
and having a window that you can pick them up. So.
Oh, and that was another one too. We have mobile ordered at the refreshment corner, and still waiting in line a little bit because there's so many people ordering. I walked into refreshment corner and all lines were open, all of them. I was like, we're here by ourselves right now. What is happening right now? It was bizarre. And I was like, well, what if it didn't tell me to go to window 3? I wouldn't have gone. I just had the whole place to just choose a window. It was crazy. So that's the perfect storm. Go on a park day on the 5th of July when Mexico is playing in the FIFA World Cup.
Next time that happens during the 250th 4th of July, you go there.
Go there.
What are we even saying?
What? But anyway, so we got our section for the fireworks show, where was that?
That was basically in the middle of Main Street, in between the tracks, because you don't want to be on the tracks.
Nope.
But pretty much in front of, kind of in between refreshment corners and the Penny Arcade, because the right across in there, and front and center until somebody picks their kids up, but that's okay. We still made it. They need to do some tree trimming, as Kevin mentioned
Oh yeah.
in our conversation. But in typical Disney fashion, never do their fireworks disappoint me, ever.
Yeah.
Facts.
They do it upright. And those little memes that everybody posts that people go, huh? Is when you see other fireworks compared to Disneyland and you go,
Eh.
because they know how to do it right.
Yeah, what I thought was interesting was like I felt like Knott's Berry Farm had more fireworks going off, but I felt like there's a much more like emotional connection that Disney was making with like their choices of the fireworks that they were using and the way that they were like timing them, especially to the music. Where it was just like I was like, man, they really know how to like tug at your heartstrings at Disney, whereas the other one was just like, here's some pop music and a bunch of fireworks. It was fun, it was a party, it was a blast. But Disney just definitely was like these guys know how to do a firework show, not just a firework like, lighting off, I guess.
Yeah, they definitely had the story behind it because then what they were paying tribute to, from the very beginning, and the projections on the castle were awesome, just completely awesome. I think my next time that I go, I'm going to go to It's a Small World and catch those because I know they did projections on It's a Small World and try and see the fireworks from there just to give a different perspective next year. So we shall see.
Right. I know I was excited to see the projections on Main Street because I know a lot of the more modern fireworks shows that they've had there have really gotten all in on the projection mapping and all of that. And I was like, man, what are they going to do for 4th of July? This is going to be amazing. And they really, for the majority of the show, had no projections at all on those buildings, which was very surprising to me. I was like, okay, I guess we're just gonna focus on all because again, it's not like they didn't have projections because obviously it's a small world, like you said, and the castle were projectioned out like the entire show. Really cool to look at. A lot of neat visuals on those the whole time. It wasn't just like a flag the whole time, just kind of waving or anything. It wasn't just stars and stripes. It was scenes and things happening, and yeah, it was really cool. But it was like the last like 3-4 minutes maybe of the fireworks show where they turned on projections onto the buildings, but where we were standing, it was only the left side that was lit up, and the right side was black. I mean, I don't say black, but not like with anything projected on it. And then down the street behind us, though, you can see both sides of the road had it. So I don't know what went wrong there, but yeah, it was just kind of a weird like. Even what they had wasn't that great because it was just like a flat projection of stars and stripes on the building. It wasn't like it was mapped to it. It wasn't designed for it. It was just here you go, here's something. So
Yeah, I was disappointed in that because they set the bar so high for themselves, right?
oh
We've seen the Mickey's Mixed Magic. Like we've seen all of the other shows that have the projection mapping down Main Street, and then so you have that in your mind already, and oh, what are they going to do? How is this going to be like with the show? We know that the fireworks are going to tug at our heartstrings. That's what Disney does with fireworks shows regardless, right? And they like I love that you said that, Kevin, that they specifically choose the fireworks to match the emotion that they want us to have, like in the storytelling that they're trying to convey. And part of that is the projections. I am hoping that the reason why they didn't do the projections is because that one side was broken. It clearly wasn't working. But with that, like maybe do something. You can still do the other side. You had the rest of the, we can forgive that a portion of Main Street isn't working properly. We can forgive that if the rest of the show still works. And I feel like because you have such a narrow eye line toward the castle, so many people didn't see the castle. Mm-hmm. That it happens every show, right? You're not going to see the castle 100% of the time, just with everybody that's there. And so your only show then is the fireworks. And that's great, but that just takes it to that next level. And so that part I felt was a little lacking because I know that they have that potential and get it up and running, get it working. So yeah, I agree. Going to check it out at It's a Small World, or even seeing if they have it going off on the Rivers of America, because they have the projections over the water as well. Yeah. So we'll have to check that out. But still, fantastic show as always.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's just us being spoiled at this point, really. So
it is.
It's again minor gripe.
Yeah. Because before they
But
didn't have projections down
I know.
Main Street. So, and I know it was just the Grand Old Flag was the only time that they put it up so that you could have it flowing across the building. But yeah, they know how to tell the story with the fireworks. They have narration in there and all that where, it's not just music. It's telling the story, which is true to Walt, telling the story. So it's great that they put that in there and not just pop music.
So for all of you who watched the fireworks from the Mickey and Friends parking structure, you didn't see the full show, but you did see some great fireworks. But again, the whole city was lit up on. Actually, that was another interesting thing. Not really having to do much with theme parks. The city on for the 4th of July was lit up with fireworks everywhere you looked. Because we drove home after Knott's Berry Farm, and the entire drive up the 5 to the 101, it was just lit up with fireworks from just the neighborhood, with the illegal fireworks that they love to shoot off. But on the 5th of July, like there wasn't a single firework. I don't know if that's because Mexico lost and everyone was grieving. I don't really know what was happening,
Oh,
but it was just, yeah, it was very jarring. I pointed out to Matt, I'm like, even on a normal day, you'll see 1 or 2 fireworks go off. So it was very weird that there weren't any
yeah.
going off.
There was a couple, but I even said on the drive home, like, this is just a typical Sunday. There's,
Right?
Exactly.
you wouldn't know that it's the 5th of July. So it was very surreal, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all the way around, with the park being more empty than we
Empty, yeah.
thought and everything. It was like, okay, why is Pirates a walk-on right now? Why is there no line in this restaurant? It brought us back to a totally different time, and it was wild, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. Put in a lot of miles on our feet.
Lots of
3
miles.
days. Yeah. But
That's okay. That's what we do.
yep.
So 4 theme parks in 3 days, celebrating America.
Here we go.
What could be more patriotic than that?
I don't know.
I can't
Not
wait for the
squeezing
500th.
anymore.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Oh
So
my
for everyone listening, got to step it up for the 500th anniversary, okay?
You have some time to plan it.
We have 250 years to plan this. Can we do it? All right. And with that, that concludes our wrap up. Oh, well, not quite yet, because we didn't talk about the food that we had over at Disneyland. Out of all of the parks, Disney typically has new food items for holiday stuff. They didn't quite have hardly anything for the 4th of July, and I don't know why that is. We had our foodie guides out on our socials like we usually do, and everybody loves them, but this one was particularly hard to put together because it was 1 page of new stuff for Disneyland and 1 page for DCA. And to Kevin's point, this is the 250th, man. Like we are here for raspberry flavored things and blueberries and red, white,
Apple
and blue
pie.
stuff. We have had the Red Rose Tavern with the gray stuff that has the raspberries in it. Like we can totally red, white, and blue everything on the menu and make it more patriotic. And I know that they are capable of doing that, and that didn't happen. So
I mean, were the apple pie churros part of the celebration, or is that just like they were just doing it?
So I saw this. They claimed that it was new. However, it's new to Willie's churro cart, but it's not new to the park because we had the apple pie churro over at the Cozy Cone last year. So
Was that also for the 4th of July?
no, it was
Okay.
no, it wasn't even last year. It was like a couple months ago.
Oh,
So they
like
just moved locations because the Cozy Cone is under refurbishment at the moment for a couple of them. And so, yeah, so it's over at Willie's. It's slightly different, but it's not 100% like original. But I mean, so I appreciate that because, I mean, what's more American than apple pie, right? As the saying goes.
something from America, probably. Churros with
Churros.
apple pie. Yeah, that's more American, probably, than apple pie.
Churros from Willie's
And
Churro
with
Cart.
that,
But I just wanted to point that out because we were talking about food. And, with any theme park, again, if you're designing a space, if you're designing a theme park, food draws in the people. And any way that you can celebrate a holiday, celebrate a theme, go for it and put it all out in the decor, put it all out in the entertainment, and put it all out in the food. And we know what they are capable of, right? And I think with all of the parks, you can do it up with the food because food brings people in. So new and exciting things. And it's not like the date snuck up on us. We knew this date was coming for a while. So yeah, just saying. And I will get off my soapbox now.
All that said, whoever created the current menu for the Magic Key Terrace, you did a great job. We loved everything we had there. Yeah, we had the Tuscan soup and the what was that funduta? It was really good.
Like that. Yes.
And the I can't remember the name of the other one, but it had like the butternut squash in it. The risotto something or other. I don't know the full name of it, but all three fantastic. So to end on a positive note.
And
not patriotic, but delicious.
That spumoni cake situation.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's $10 and we were debating on whether each of us need our own because it was so good. We did not do that. We just shared, but I'm saying it's so good. If you were a fan of chocolate, cherries, and pistachios, this is your jam.
What's more American than spumoni? Am I right?
I can't think of anything. Wait, what?
And with that.
All right. Thank you so much for listening to us rant and tell you all that we experienced at Universal, Knott's, and Disney over the 4th of July weekend. We hope you had a wonderful and safe 4th of July weekend as well. And if you were at any of these parks or any other parks, let us know. Again, you can join us at our private Facebook group, Where in the Park Explorers, or just add us at Where in the Park, send us a DM, tag us in a photo, whatever you want to do. We want to hear from you. And yeah, we'll even like post you on our stories of like, hey, we went to theme parks, because we love theme parks. I'm going to start rambling now. And until next time, we'll see you somewhere in the park. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for exploring with us today. If you're ready to take your park experience to the next level, check out Where in the Park Games. They're self-paced, seek-and-find adventures designed for you to experience the park in a whole new way. Whether you're visiting for a birthday, a family gathering, date night, or even a solo trip, you'll be searching up high and down low for the details found in the park's theming. Get ready to discover a deeper appreciation for your favorite theme park with a Where in the Park game and take 10% off your next adventure by using code PODCAST10. Which park will you explore next? Until then, we'll see you somewhere in the park.